Welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. This is going to be a special edition. We're going to be covering the athletes in the pro camp, and this is the first athlete. So this is going to be Lizzie Nyitray, and Lizzie's come to I think since 2020 she's been coming to the camp. So this is going to be her third year, and Lizzie's been a pro for a while, I think 6 years now, and she coaches out of Atlanta. And, she's got a good stroke. I mean, if you're looking, when we're looking right here, we'll back it up a little bit. So, she's nice and long in the water. Hips, shoulders, feet are all kind of right there near the surface. The one issue and we had this kind of in the last time she was here when she got in the endless pool, you can see right there, she pulls her head up on every stroke. And a lot of it's from the left side in the pull. And one of the things that we've tried to work on is that. So you can see it gets stopped right there. And then she pulls. So that was one of the things that we worked on. And the other one, and, this is kind of where you want to typically start with, just about everybody, is you can see that there's a little bit of momentum kind of going in right there. So we've got the momentum going that way. So you can see kind of the hip starts to go out that way. The feet will come apart to stabilize for that. So you can see for her, she did it more, the stabilization came more vertically than it does horizontally. Typically you'll get that traditional kind of scissor kick where the feet will come really far apart this way. She's doing it more kind of in a vertical plane in the water. But at the same point, what it does is it does all the same thing. It stabilizes the body, but it adds a lot of drag into the equation. And so that's kind of some of the stuff that we wanted to work on was getting it to the point where she could not have that little bounce in her head and then get a little bit more of a fluid movement going through the stroke. Because you can see here, let me back it up. The pull pattern's pretty good. I mean, we're right there. She's kind of crossing the midline a little bit. So that means this is like that. We're at 130. You really want to be kind of at about 100 to about 110 right there. So we talked about if you kind of keep those fingertips pointed down towards the bottom of the pool, that'll give you a better indication of where kind of that midline is when you're swimming. And then we'll go on this side. So you can see right here, she's getting a good pull in the water, but again, we're a little bit wide outside of her body. The angle right there is good, but what we'd like to see would be the hand kind of more under there as she's pulling through. So if, we're looking at midline right there, the hand just kind of skirts that midline and pulls straight back. So the elbow is going to be out. This is going to be moved in. And then what'll happen is you'll be able to get kind of the lat, all of those really big muscles in your back, all coordinated working together to get as much pressure as you can get on your hand. And we'll keep on going forward a little bit. And we'll show some of the kind of the drills that we worked on to just kind of balance everything out. And so one of the things that we did, and the last time that I worked with her, we really had a lot of success with this mortar, which is the weighted pull buoy from Fike Swim. And then Aquavolos come out with these VB air paddles, and the VB air paddles are like their regular paddles, the Volo blades. But they're made out of like a high density foam that's really, really buoyant. And so what we're able to do is able to kind of balance out the body, get her to kind of engage that core a little bit more. And then you can, one of the cues you want to do is that you're pressing down against that buoyancy of the paddle So the wrist is below elbow, elbow below shoulder. And then the shape of that mid-palm paddle rolls the hand over into a high elbow catch a lot sooner. So we're trying to combine all of these different things and really force a certain movement. And so that's what you're trying to do with some of these constraints. And Fike and Aquavolo right now are making, in my opinion, some of the kind of the best constraint-led training equipment around for swimming. So it gives your brain another look at how to make the movement. And that's what we want to do. We want to give the brain as many different ways to look at a potential movement as possible. And it's all about eliminating kind of ways to move so that there's only really one way left to move, and that's the most efficient for you. And that's what a lot of this gear can really help out doing, is just eliminating some of these possibilities and giving the brain a really good look at what we're trying to drive into the stroke pattern. So you can see, you push down against that buoyancy, you get a really better kind of hand and elbow position on the water and are able to pull through a lot sooner. So that pull buoy weighs about 2 pounds. Here we were just kind of working on right arm only, just to give her a little bit more feel for what that right was doing and how it's connected to the left. And one of the things that we want to think about is, the top of the stroke, so where the hands kind of influence the back of the stroke and effectively everything behind it. And then the right side is connected to the left side. So it's this one big continuum. They're not siloed off from, the right doesn't exist independent of the left. The top of the stroke doesn't exist independent from the bottom of the stroke. If you generate a higher kick, you're going to be able to increase your tempo a little bit more, increase stability, which then allows you to pull harder on the water. So the stroke is connected top to bottom, left to right in this constant continuum. And that's how you want to think about it in terms of the development. So, we'll come back. So this was Lizzie's first session that she did in the endless pool, and we'll be publishing kind of the follow up after that. But yeah, during the camp, Lizzie made a lot of really great strides. So, thanks as always for tuning in. If there are any questions whatsoever, I am always happy to answer questions. And we'll catch you at the next video.